Start moving. Alright. Flaps. Flaps down. Don't worry about the check. Flaps down. Tight to left. Right to that. Down. I get it for you. No, I'm going to take you down here. I'm going to take your help. That was one of the reasons. That is. Okay. Hold down. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm
Perfect.
clear.
All right.
All right, so right here, navigation's current until 20th of May 2021.
Yep.
So hit continue. All right, and then what this is saying is localizers, CDI,
Yep.
half left,
Half left. Yep.
flags out of view, there's no flags.
Oh, okay.
All right, vertical CDI, half up. So that is right there. So that dot right there is your glide slope.
Oh, okay.
And then that's your the lateral.
Yep.
You know, you've got it right there too, but
Yep.
that's really what we should look at.
Okay.
All right, and then there's no flags.
No flag.
All right, and then to from is showing 2. All right, so on here,
2.
yep, that
The
arrow
purple
right.
2.
Yep, that's
Yep.
showing that we're going to that direction.
Yep.
And then OBS is showing it doesn't have anything on there.
Well, it's saying desired track is 150. That's what the big arrow's
Yeah,
for.
but if we had something else like an OBS like this,
Yeah.
it would tell us, whatever it's connected to would tell us what this is saying right here.
Right.
We don't have that because
Right.
this automatically does it.
Right.
But if this were connected to this, we could turn this to 120, and then this should say OBS says 120.
Right.
All right, so hit continue. All right, so since we're going to be here at Monroe, push nearest airport. All right, EQI, and then hit direct to, and then hit direct to activate. All right, so that I always just set it to wherever I'm going, even if I'm going here, just
Okay.
to get people into practice of using the GPS.
Yeah.
You know, because if we spend 80% of our time here, and we don't ever use the GPS, then when you go to do your cross country or whatever, you're not prepared for, it's not muscle memory or, you know, your
Right.
nature. And when you get in the airplane, you start it up, you go through this, you set your GPS to where you're going, then you forget about it, and then you try and do it in the airplane while you're trying to fly and navigate.
Right. Yeah, we definitely, when we go out, time we leave the air, you know, right at the airport, let's mess with the whatever one.
So just push comp 2. Let's see. We don't have comp 2 on this one, so
we
just push, flip that over.
2, 3. Remarks. Density altitude 0. Monroe Airport. Automated weather observation 2159er Zulu. Wind 050 at 07. Visibility 10. Sky condition overcast 5000. Temperature 10 Celsius. Dew point 06 Celsius. Altimeter 3023. Remarks. Density altitude 0. Monroe Airport. Automated.
Alright, so winds are coming right down 5 at 7 miles an hour.
Yep.
Or 7 knots, excuse me.
So we should be good to go.
Okay.
You just notice right here, the dew point's 10
Yeah.
and 7.
Yep.
So when you have a dew point spread that's narrow like that,
Yeah.
you have to be cautious of like fog forming, especially as the day cools off, because the temperature is going to cool off faster than the dew point's going to decrease,
Yeah.
usually. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
All right.
How we doing?
I think our oil temperature is coming up. We could go ahead and taxi over there to run up.
Okay. Oh.
So just
Yeah.
walk through that real quick.
Avionics on, ATIS AWOS we did, altimeter we did, transponder.
Transponder's right here.
Okay.
So it's set to 1200.
1200.
All right.
Okay.
So we're good right there.
Yep. Alright, ADS-B is on, it's part of this.
It's in the
It's in this?
GPS transponder.
GPS, okay. Radio test. Oh, whoops.
We already did it. Oh, no, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Yep, go ahead and do it.
Monroe Unicom, Skyhawk 20997, radio check.
997, loud and clear.
Roger, thank you. Alright, taxi light as required. I think we're good for right now. Well, what do you want?
Yeah, we want a taxi light on. So that's part of the check. Like when we start and we go right and left,
Yeah.
we'll just go flaps up. Usually we got a switch over here.
Right.
Lean the mixture, make sure our power's still set at 1000, car peat's off, taxi light on. We should already have our rotating beacon on.
It is, yeah.
We don't need our nav lights and we don't need our pitot heat.
Right.
Avionics on, boom, and then come up here, check our weather, make sure our frequency's right, comm check, transponder check, good to go, and then that whole list right there should be done.
Yep. Alright, brakes will test on the way out here in a moment. Attitude indicator will test on the way out. Turn coordinator will test. HSI to compass. So does this drift? Well, this is coming off GPS. This should never
This is
drift.
from the GPS, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright.
Just confirm that it matches what your magnetic compass is.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It's just one a little bit off there, so. But I mean, it's in line like it's supposed to be.
All right.
Alright. Got everything?
Yep.
Alright. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, taxi to run-up area for takeoff runway 5, Monroe traffic. Check your brakes.
Alright.
Squeaky.
And what I like to do, you're doing a good job, is pull all the way out until we're almost on this yellow line over here.
Yeah.
And then turn and head straight for the yellow line. That way you're clear of these aircraft that are over here beside us.
Right.
All right, and you gotta, whenever you go to straighten up on something, you have to start turning opposite rudder before you get to where you're at. Otherwise, you're trying to straighten the wheel up while you're pointing at the direction you want to go, but your wheel's still pointed that way a little bit.
So you're like a little left here and then right?
Go to the right. What was that?
That was my seat slide backwards.
Oh.
Alright, this will be the only day I fly this plane. Good to know. I'll have to get one of them cushions like Anna.
No, well, I like 144 Papa Whiskey, and I like 933 Papa, and 2866 Lima. It's still in the engine break-in, but when it's out, it's a good plane too. And then 2600 Lima, it's, you know, I like it.
I've flown that one. Like, that's one of the ones I remember.
Oh, from when you flew before?
Yeah.
And let's go all the way down here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To the end, and then just turn in.
In front of the hangar here?
No, right here, just at the end of the
Oh, at the end of
pavement.
the... Oh, okay. Oh, and then do this.
Yeah, and then just turn, make a U-turn and go up. Get enough room so that when you turn back the other way, your wing's not hanging out in the middle of the taxiway. So, like, go up until you're past this.
The light. Yeah.
And go up a little bit more. And then now turn that way to the right. Alright, then straighten it up. We want to face into the wind. There we go.
Okay. Alright, run up brakes. We got it. Fuels to both. Double check. Term is set to take off. Alright, flight controls. Rudder. It's really hard to do this and keep the brakes on. Alright, instruments. Temperature set, check that on the way out.
The
I don't know what to do with these.
turn coordinator is like the slip indicator right there is right there.
Oh,
in the ball.
okay.
Okay.
Yep. Good to know.
And then when you're turning, you'd have a little magenta bar that shows up right here.
Yeah.
So if we're turning to the right, we'll have a magenta bar that extends out. When it hits that line, that's a standard rate turn.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright.
so the instruments are just airspeed, 0.
Yeah.
You got an airspeed tape right here on the right, and then you got altimeter right here, and you set your altimeter also right there. So see how you turn that? You can set that.
Oh.
So what was the altimeter setting?
3023.
Okay. There you go. Alright.
A little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Alright. This is lined up with our compass. Kinda, sorta, not really.
Well, that says 6, and that says like 053.
Yeah, that's 53 and that's showing 58.
Well,
so.
and this has magnetic variation. So see, like right here, we're at 60.
Northeast.
So
Yeah.
it's 60. So that should be, you know, it's showing we're 060, so
Well,
that's 60.
I think it's mostly because that's next to it.
I don't think so.
No.
We're pretty much facing
Alright.
060.
Okay. Instruments are all good. Alright. Mixture to best power.
So just push it in.
Okay. Primer's in and locked. 1600 RPM.
And also one thing, before you do a run up, like especially if it's cooler,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that your oil temperature is over 100. Just so you, because if your oil's too thick, then it can cause stuff to
Damage.
like seals and stuff, like where your oil filter's at, to like get pushed out and cause a leak.
Okay.
So because the pressure will get too high, and just keep an eye on your oil pressure while you're doing your run up. Because if it gets too high, then that's also something to...
Alright, well, get up 1600 RPM first. Everything's good there. Alright, max test. Okay, RP test. Looking for a drop. Not dropping much.
It dropped about 50 or 75 RPMs.
Yeah. Does this have a vacuum gauge?
Vacuum gauge. It doesn't because we don't have any vacuum instruments. So we've got our heading indicator and our attitude indicator replaced with electronic
No,
ones.
you're right. Alright, amp volts.
We've got a thing right here that shows us that our alternator's not working right.
Right, I saw that when we were doing startup.
So that looks like everything's good on that.
And
we don't have an amp meter on
I
here.
don't have an amp meter. Okay, sounds good. I noticed this was, and I think that's the alternator.
Yeah, that would cut your alternator on and off.
Okay, all right. Oil pressure still good?
Yep, oil pressure green.
All right, oil temperature is good. Over 100. Idle. Ooh, that's low.
That's about normal. 600, 700
700,
RPMs.
yeah. Usually
Now
700.
check the carpet with it idle.
A little bit of a drop.
Yep. Well, you're just looking to make sure it doesn't cause it to
Okay.
cut off, and then just check your friction
A
load,
little bit of friction there.
and then bring it back up to 1,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Take the friction lock off.
Take it off.
Yeah, just loosen it up a little bit because you don't want to take off with your friction lock set.
Okay.
You're just checking it to make sure it works.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Pre-takeoff. Flaps will leave at 0. Mixture's best power. We'll leave that full in. Carb heat will be off. Check it when we get down there. Pitot heat as required. Transponder set. Heading bug. Not really.
Right here, you can set that runway heading, so 050, or actually probably about 053's runway heading, but.
All right. Doors, windows, you're good?
All right, mine's shut, yours shut.
Mine's shut. All right, landing lights on, because you turned that on before.
So we just got the taxi light on, so pull that knob out one more time. Oh, you had it all the way on. So it's got 2 clicks. You got 1 click, and then a second one. So that's taxi lights, and then that's landing lights. So that's just 1 light, 2 lights.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the cabin heat. I'm gonna get that, get my feet warmed up. Yeah, so pull it back out.
Yeah. Strobes on.
Yep.
Time note. You got time. And brake release. All right. We didn't have our pilot briefing.
Yeah, so, I mean, usually we'd do this down there at the end, but we go ahead and do it now. So we're going to take off runway 5, we're going to stay in the pattern. If we don't rotate by Alpha 2, we're going to abort takeoff. We're going to pull power back, pull back on the yoke, use our brakes evenly, stop straight ahead. If we have engine trouble before rotation, we're going to do the same thing, power back, stop straight ahead, pull back, come to a stop. If we lose power after takeoff with runway remaining, we're going to push forward for airspeed. We're going to come down, usually a steeper angle than what you normally would want to, because you want to get down close to the ground. Then as you get down, you got about 80 miles per hour. Get down to close to the ground, you can hit your flaps. Reach down here and get your flaps. You're going to have to keep the nose pushed down to maintain airspeed once you get the flaps in.
Yep.
And then, when you get closer to the ground, go ahead and start bringing the nose up and fly down the runway, let that speed bleed off, and just gradually pull back, land like normal, stop on the remaining runway. If we lose engine after liftoff with no runway remaining, we're going to push for airspeed. We're going to turn toward our emergency field. In this particular direction, there's some grassy fields off to the right.
Okay.
All right, after we turn toward our field, we're going to mixture rich, carb heat on, fuels on both, check left and right, mags on both, masters on, check mags left and right, to possibly get the engine to restart before we have to make an emergency landing, because a lot of times the reason the engine might cut off is fuel exhaustion. So we're taking off with full fuel, but say you're coming back from a trip and you have to make a missed, do a go around or something, and you go to climb out and your fuel moves to a different part of the tank and you're low on that tank and the engine starts sputtering, so pitch for airspeed and then try switching the tanks, hit carb heat, mixture, because it could be carb ice, could be your mixture's too lean.
Right.
All right. So hit that stuff once you pitch. All right. And if we're above 1,000 feet, we're going to push for airspeed. We're going to turn back to the runway, and we're going to go through the same checklist. And if their checklists are unsuccessful, we're going to prepare for a emergency landing. We'll call Unicom because there's people listening. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Skyhawk 20997's engine out, landing off runway 5, Monroe. And then, 7700 in the transponder.
Yeah.
All right. And then before we make a landing, we'll get crack our doors so that they're not closed. And then also in this plane, fortunately, we have mechanical flaps, so we can go hit the master, and the mags are off, and mixture, lean, idle, cut off, and throttle back. All right. And then we come down to land. We get our flaps when we know we were assured of the field, and land. If we have one that's got electric flaps, we leave the master on. We go ahead, lean, idle, cut off, and mags off. Leave the master on until we get the flaps, and then once we get the flaps, master off. That way we don't have any live wires that could spark a fire. All right?
Yeah.
I know that's a mouthful, but
someday I'm going to record it.
You're going to. I've got it recorded. I can email it to you. All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
First, there's a first for everything. First time I ever recorded it.
Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, taxi from run-up area down for takeoff runway 5, Monroe traffic.
And I'm sure that I said something that's wrong, and if I were to put it on YouTube, somebody would be like, well, you said this, and that.
Yeah.
Cut off. We sat there so long that thing thought we had landed. The thing's got an automatic shut off where
If you don't move.
If you don't move for a while, it cuts off.
Yeah.
So that because I had one of the earlier ones, and early on I would forget to cut it off, and the battery would die.
Oh geez.
So we need to come over to the right just a little bit so we can get on center line. A little bit more.
A little more?
When we're on center line, the line should look like it's kind of touching the cowl right about here if you go straight out in front of where my finger's at.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit more to the right will get you there.
Dang, that is right in line with like the hinges.
Yeah, you just...
I know, I was over it.
Got to find you like some reference point that's...
Looking at the hinges. How's that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right.
Might be off like 2 inches or something to the left. I'm just picking because that's kind of being a little bit too...
Keep it in the middle. Keep it in the middle.
Well, that's one of the...
I know.
ACS standards is maintaining center line. It's real important on the runway, so I really am trying to be a stickler about it, especially on taxiing early.
Yeah.
Because to make sure that people understand what the center line is,
right.
when they don't have that extra pressure of taking off.
Right.
To kind of narrow their field of perception.
Thought you turned the heat on.
Huh?
Thought you turned the heat on.
Me too.
That is not warm.
You see, maybe
Try the other
I think that's the heat. Maybe that's the cabin air. They don't have labels on these right there. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
I
heat.
feel the heat. The other one was just outside air.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to know too.
There's some coyote
Is that what that is?
excrement right there. Yes. I was flying the Champ the other day, and there was a coyote running across the runway.
Yeah.
So we have deer and we have coyote out here.
Yeah.
This is the
I hear the coyotes every night.
this is like the Monroe Wildlife Preserve.
Wildlife Preserve, yeah, because it's all fenced in. I do. I hear the coyotes a lot.
Good. Bring that power back so you can start coasting. All right, so
You
our
on the brakes?
V speeds, we're going to rotate at 60, climb at 80, stall with flaps 49, stall without flaps 57, best glide 1,800 pounds is 65, best glide full gross is 75, so we're somewhere in between there, so we'll say 70 is our best glide. All right, and our flap extend speed is 100.
Yep.
All right.
Miles an hour.
Yep.
All right.
So just remember, before we take the runway, we have to announce that we're
Taking the runway.
what we're doing.
Yeah. Trying to see. Okay. I couldn't really see. Well, I mean, I could, but it was
Okay.
better. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Because I think we're ready to go here. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, taking off runway 5, remaining in the pattern of Monroe traffic. We'll see about this seat.
All right. And when we rotate, we're just going to pull the nose up and just kind of put the end of the nose on the end of the runway. Right there, just hold, just right there. That's good. Just hold it.
Yep.
All right, lower the nose.
Yep.
Climb out at 80. There we go. They're not quite putting the nose on the end of the runway, but you just want to lift the nose and let the plane fly off the runway. You don't want to pull it off the runway because we'll get the stall horn like we did. Just pardon me, I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to close that heat a little bit. That thing's blowing full power.
Doing good?
Yeah, it feels good. Just like having a blow dryer on you. All right, a little bit of right rudder, a little bit of left aileron. Get the don't have the nose up so high. Look outside focus outside the airplane, okay?
I'm trying.
All right, a little bit of left aileron, right rudder. You gotta hold it in there. So you got the whole time we're climbing, you gotta have rudder, right rudder. That's too much. All right, we could go ahead and turn crosswind because we're 1,400 feet now.
Okay.
Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, left crosswind, runway 5, Monroe. So we're almost to traffic pattern altitude. Go ahead and lower the nose, right rudder. All right, bring the power back. Keep the push down. Bring the power back right there. All right. Go ahead and turn downwind.
Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, left downwind, runway 5, Monroe traffic.
Alright, there you go. Push. You're still climbing. You need to trim it a little bit. Reach down there and trim it. Alright. Then go ahead and do our before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist, seatbelts, good, fuel's on, off, heartbeat's in, so we're ready to go.
Mixture rich.
Mixture's rich.
Landing lights on.
Landing lights are on.
Alright, go ahead and get the carb heat. Alright, bring the power back, hold the nose up for maintain altitude. Bring it a little bit more. There you go, reach down there and get you 1 notch of flaps.
Nope.
Push the button in. Push it, pull it till it clicks.
Okay. Oh, that's neat. Pain in the ass, but it's neat. Okay.
Alright, so we're coming down at 80. So pitch for 80. There you go. Trim it for 80. So you're not having to hold any back pressure. So trim it nose up a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and turn base.
Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, left base, runway 5, Monroe traffic.
Keep turning. There you go. And we can bank a little bit more. That's only about 15-degree bank. Alright, wings level. Right rudder, right aileron. There you go. Get you another notch of flaps. Alright, there you go. 70. Alright. You got your left wing high. Alright, there you go.
Down.
Let's
There
go
we
ahead. Turn.
Yep. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, final runway 5, Monroe traffic.
Alright, don't pull back on that yoke while you're turning right there. That's how you...
Those traffic cards, you know, Quebec starting the pattern out to the east. Climbing through 2,600 last call for the
Alright, looks like we're probably going to end up a little bit low here. So add a little power. And we're a little bit left of center line. So we need to, can use left rudder, right aileron, and it'll slide us over. There you go, just like that.
Yep.
Just hold it in there.
One more notch of flaps.
Yeah, just wait until we get a little bit closer because we're kind of
Far away.
low right here. Alright, need to bring the nose up a little bit to be at 70. Alright, go ahead and get your 3rd notch of flaps. Alright, there you go. Don't let the nose rise like that.
It wasn't.
I know, it's
right.
fine.
It was.
Alright, just keep, we're aiming for that 5. A little bit of right rudder to straighten us up. Alright, keep coming down. You're kind of holding off a little bit, and we're getting slow. Alright, keep coming down. For a little bit of right rudder. Alright, bring the nose up gradually. A little bit more, more. Alright, bring the power back.
Okay.
Alright, flaps down.
Flaps are down.
Alright, let's go.
Going.
Let's go.
Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997, touch and go, runway 5, stay in the pattern, Monroe.
Alright, right rudder. little bit of right rudder. Alright, you need more right rudder. There you go, and hold a little bit of left aileron.
Yep.
Alright, let's go ahead and turn crosswind.
Okay. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 20997. Left crosswind, runway 5, Monroe traffic.